Can I say the N-word real quick?
Yeah.
Negroni. That's what I'm drinking. A Negroni.
Again.
I was drinking a Manhattan, which was very tasty, but I ran out of rye whiskey. I don't want to use the bourbon because I don't know. I'm just not in the mood, I guess. See, I'm going to get tequila tonight.
Yeah.
Some margaritas. I feel like this is closer to... It's not close at all. It's grapefruit, but it's closer than a fucking bourbon.
Yeah.
Anyway. So I was on this hot date, right?
Okay.
Big breast.
Right.
Fat booty.
Yes.
And then your mom just went home. She turned me down. What a bitch.
She has standards.
I know. I wouldn't blame your mom if she didn't want to date me.
Maybe if you got published, maybe.
Oh. Ooh. Let's talk about that. Oh, baby, I like it raw. Oh, my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours. And I'm like, damn right. No, I don't remember the rest of that song.
You get the gist of it. That's basically the whole song, right?
Getting published. I have a piece that's finally in progress.
Ooh.
I had submitted a story fucking like in December. I'm not going to name the magazine. I submitted it, and it was on the back burner so long, I said, fuck it, and I published it on DPW, and then all of a sudden now, because I use Submittable, it says received, and that's just like, they got it, but they're not fucking ever looking at it. Well, now it's finally in progress.
I see the shadow of Nitro just throwing something around.
He's been very good so far. So
it looks like it looks like one of his toys, but I can see his shadow of him just like.
When Mindy's not here, he's very good at not destroying things. Usually, except for that one time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sorry.
So my story is in progress. So I went on the old DPW and I kind of just made it private.
Yeah.
So they can't look at it and say it's published somewhere. So I'm having high hopes for it because I felt like it was a fairly solid story. And I have an essay out there too that I'm still waiting on, but I just turned that in not too long ago. So I actually have some prospects on the horizon.
And I saw recently we posted a thing for different places that are accepting like commissions and contests and stuff.
Yeah, that was just the thing I was looking at. I like to,
but I mean that's
help out our fans here and there. I posted one on the website I think last year.
That's good for me because I'm terrible for looking up that kind of stuff. Yeah. I'm always like I need to like try to submit to different things and stuff like that, but never bother.
Every few months I try to publish or post who's looking for work because we don't pay.
Yeah.
And granted, I love when you guys submit to us and we can publish your work and stuff. And also, by the way, I'm getting to that in a second. I want to see you guys get paid, though. That's the main thing. Like, that's what we care about.
We want to get paid. We want you guys to get paid.
Yeah. I mean, so we don't pay. We're non-profit. So we don't give a fuck if you publish through us or not. I mean, we give a fuck, as regards to having work out there and getting you guys some attention. But we want to see you get paid. We want to see you do the best you can. So if you can get published by a mainstream article... a mainstream magazine, which has happened now. A couple of our writers have got back to me and said, hey, can you get rid of the thing I submitted to you or, make it private because I actually got my work accepted to this magazine. Nice. Yeah, so I'm like, I have no problem doing that. Yeah. So I always tell people right off the back whenever they send work to us, hey, if you ever want to submit to somewhere else, go ahead, just let me know. I'll make it private. Nobody can read it. They won't be able to see it. And you can get published somewhere else. Get that fucking paper.
Yeah, get that credit.
Yeah. One of our writers, I shared her work recently. I forgot to mention this to you. She is almost finishing a book now. I think she said she had a week or two left on it. And it's a print. She's going to have a print edition too. She's going to send it to us for free.
Oh, nice.
And she's a really good writer. So I'm not going to mention her name just now. I don't want to put the pressure on her since it's not finished.
Yeah, let her finish it and stuff.
Yeah, but maybe that'll be a book of the month this summer.
That sounds like, yeah.
Yeah, and she's a really good writer. She, the name is evading me right now with the story. It was a very good story, though, she sent to our winter submission period, and I really like her work, so I am definitely down to read that, and a print book is always fucking welcome.
Yes.
I had somebody send me a print book a couple months back. It was really good. So I love when you guys do that. If you want to do that in the future, go ahead. As regards to my personal writing, I did start on the short story collection I was talking about. The one where the guy goes to hell and it goes into like the hotel.
Oh, yes.
For anybody who didn't hear that episode, the premise of this story is a guy who may have done something terrible. He ends up in hell, which is a big hotel, and pretty much a hotel with endless levels. The demons are going to take him to his room for his personal torture, and he runs away from them. And as he's running from him, he goes through these corridors of hell, and he'll duck out into rooms here and there. And each room is a random person, and that random person, he has to watch what got them in hell, their story. And that'll be the short stories of them, is each person's individual hell. And those stories are based on the 7 deadly sins. I actually did the outline for it already, and I wrote the introduction, like how, him getting to hell. So now he's like working his way to actually the short stories.
And you're going to do each story yourself?
Yeah, I'm going to do all the stories. I was thinking, unless you want to do a short story collection. You want to jump on board?
I mean, if you, I can do a story if you want.
Well,
maybe, I don't know whenever you plan on trying to have it, done
as soon as possible.
But I didn't know. I didn't know if you were planning on just doing it yourself, or like we've had a couple different people like on staff sending stuff, and I wasn't sure what your thought process on that was.
I'm not sure. I was thinking, like, I already wrote just the outline for the characters of what, like, the individual sins.
Yeah.
For instance, the first guy is gluttony. And he is an Australian. I heard about this on the Rogan podcast. Gave me the idea. It was, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Guy was talking about in Australia they have people who get paid to shoot rabbits because there's so many rabbits.
Yeah.
So the first hit was like gluttony, and it was gonna have something to do with the guy that's hired to shoot rabbits, and maybe he like fucking It's not the rabbits he's killing. He gets like a fucking hunger for killing things, and maybe he goes too extreme And then I have, it will go in layers too. Like my protagonist is going to go through, the hotel, and it gets more decrepit and shitty looking. Like it starts off like a normal hotel.
Yeah.
But as he goes through the layers and these demons are chasing him, like the hallways, like eventually become like stone and shitty looking. It's like he's going down into a dungeon.
And tore down and
as he goes down,
pieces.
yeah, the sins are going to get worse. So while it starts off nice, and like gluttony is not a major sin, I would say, when you get to, you have envy, wrath. I have greed. Greed is a guy that's going to be a Schroeder character.
Yes.
Off of somebody we know.
Yes.
It's going to be a Schroeder character.
Which sin is he?
His is greed. And it's going to be a slumlord in, like, say, a New York or something, who has an apartment complex that he neglects, and he's a slumlord, and it collapses, kills a shitload of people. Well, he's clearly going to be on like a lower level, so it's like real decrepit down there. Everything's shitty. The sinner doesn't even have their door shut because they're like they're in so much despair that they don't.
So is that how you're gonna have him like through each floor? He's just gonna go into like a random room.
Yeah, he's got to duck out whenever the demons are trying to get him. Because they're trying to take him to his room. Because the end of the... before I get there... I'll give it away. I don't care. Because it's going to be so long by the time it comes out. But it goes down, like... One of the characters is like a gangbanger. And I forget what sin he has. But he's like on the lower level. He's killed some people.
So, as you're going to have like you said the first floor was gluttony. So, like... And I don't know if this would matter to your story if you thought about it. So, it's like... It's every... Like... Because I'd imagine each room on that floor is a different sin. So, is that just like the floor of gluttony?
I was thinking about that. Maybe it's like the floor
and then
of
he just happens to, as the things are chasing into him, he just happened to be going into whatever that room is.
The rooms are at random, but I was going to play it as, the first room's going to be gluttony because that's kind of a lesser sin, but that would be all the sins. It wouldn't necessarily be like going on the 7 deadly sins in regards to that. It's not just going to be a sin of gluttony. It's going to be just like lesser fucking things that got you to hell. But the farther you go down, obviously, the worse the sins get. Like I said, there's going to be a gangbanger. He might have killed some people or some shit. He's lower down. And I was going to have it where it ends, like, our main character, because he gets so decrepit in the hallways, he ends up, like, falling through the floor. So he skips a couple floors.
Okay.
So he skips some, like, whatever sins would be on those floors. and he ends up in like this fucking super dank. The ground's made of fucking bones, like everything's real gross. And he goes down, and there's only one room left. Then he has no choice. He has to go in that room. That's his room. And it turns out his sin was like, I'm thinking wrath. Because I was looking at the 7 deadly sins. They're not actually as cool as like the 10 commandments. So I was thinking wrath, but I was going to, because I started off where the very first paragraph is, he gets a bullet in his head. Like it shows like a bullet exploding in his head, and then there's nothing. And then he ends up in hell. So you don't know what killed, like how he died. Well, it turns out, he was like a Ted Bundy character. So he was like fucking, he was a serial killer.
Worst of the worst.
Yeah. So the guy that you're feeling for, the protagonist, actually the worst of the worst, and he ends up in the darkest pit of hell.
That makes me, you know what that reminds me of? That episode of Black Mirror with the kid looking at like the kiddie porn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you really like that kid. That was the best episode, in my opinion, because that kid... And the actor was so good.
Yeah.
And he looked so innocent. But at the very beginning, he looks at that little girl and you're like, wait a minute. And then you're like, he beats off and stuff.
And it's so weird because, like, you're almost kind of thrown off by it because the kid himself is still, like, in high school.
No, I think he's out of high school. He's an adult, but he's, like, barely. He's, like, 20 or something.
So it's, like, something you wouldn't even necessarily... associate with him, because when you think of that kind of guy,
you think like an old 40 or something year old dude, glasses,
yeah,
but he was like
mustache,
but that was an excellent fucking episode. But he that was an excellent episode because you feel for the character the whole time, and then at the very end you're like, wait, he's a fucking pedophile.
And at the end,
how do I feel now?
Yeah, and at the end you're still just like, after it's over, you're like, I don't, because like that was fucked up what they did to him, but he kind of deserved it.
As a pedophile, he didn't act on his pedophilia urges yet. The story, but he did watch like child porn videos with exploitation of children. It's disgusting. So you're like, well, fuck this guy. But at the same time, the acting was so good. And you're like, oh man, like that was they did such an excellent job of showing how that is a gray area if you actually look into it.
Yeah,
like somebody that hasn't acted on those urges but has those urges. You're like, ooh. But that's kind of the way I want to go about this story is I want you to feel for the guy in hell. You want to be like, oh, fuck, why is he in hell? And I'm going to give little flashbacks to his story and kind of things like that, but I don't want to describe it until the very end. But each short story is somebody's personal hell, so I could tell an individual story.
But they all relate to him in some way.
Yeah, it'll show that he's the worst of the worst. That's why he's in the deepest part of hell. So the demons weren't actually trying to collect him to take him to his room. They were just showing him to his room. I think that's a cool premise. I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It almost feels a little too personal just because of the idea. I don't know if I want somebody else to write one of those stories.
I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I really like that. And if we do a short story collection for DPW this summer, I already have some work at least ready for it. So I wouldn't really have to write anything. I'll just have to wait for everybody else.
I would say with this thing, with the hotel thing and all that, is that something you want to try to put into, like you said, like a collection? That's
not going to be on the site. That's going to be
like an
actual collection. And I'll probably shop that around to some agents. And I was looking at different contests. There is a shitload of short story contests, published work or not published short story collection, that the prize is like $15,000.
Ooh, wow.
I mean, I'm talking about a lot of them. So that's what kind of got me really like pumped up to do it, because I was already going to do it, but I was like, well, wait a minute. Now there might be some actual avenue I can submit this to.
Yeah, if you can get $15,000 for that.
So what I'll do is before I submit to any agents, I'll do the ones that it has to be unpublished.
Yeah.
And then if it doesn't do well with those, I will submit to agents. And if I can get published, and I think the idea is solid enough, it's just I got to write it well.
Yeah.
Then I can submit again, because the other contests were for short story collections that were already published. It has to be published through a publisher. Fuck it, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like if that would be the ideal scenario. You get published by some kind of publishing house, so you get that probably $10,000-15,000 for the collection, and then whatever royalties you might get from a first time published author. You're not going to get a lot of money. But if you could also give that to one of these short story collections, get another $15,000, now you're making out pretty decent.
Yeah.
And since it's a short story collection, not a novel, I feel like I write that a lot faster.
And it just gives you, like, that can actually give you some breathing room to be like, I can maybe take some time now and focus on some like, you know what I mean?
If I can
maybe take like an extra day off a week at work or something like that, or you know what I mean?
If I got 15 or especially 30 grand, then you have to pay the taxes and shit. But after all that,
but still, you still get a good night.
Say I knocked out even $22,000 between contest and publishing rights and all, or whatever the publisher gives me and shit. Say 22 grand. That's enough where I can just be like, I'm not gonna work Fridays anymore.
Yeah.
That's fucking that extra day. That is enough where I can get a lot of writing done and move on and maybe create something out of that, grow on that.
And you won't be as worn out on other days, so you can get even more writing done on your off days or after work. It's just
my problem right now is with work. I get so exhausted physically and mentally by the time I get home. It is really hard for me to sit down and write.
Yeah.
Because I just don't have during the day I have creativity, so I'll write down ideas, but I'm working, so I don't have time to actually, write. But then when it comes time to write, I'm so fucking tired, and then the weekends I'm recuperating.
Yeah, I feel mine's so much more mental than physical. I just feel like work...
You're burnt out.
Yeah, it's drilling a hole in my head with like a laser beam every day.
Well, here are two separate scenarios that I am 100% thinking about taking. One, booking a hotel room. Take it, because I get 2 weeks and some change for vacation a year. I usually take one vacation with the missus to take a big vacation, and then I'd never take the other one. I just cash it out.
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
do you have to use it all in a thing, or can you take a day?
I can take it whenever I want.
Because then I think then you just use it for whenever we do conventions and stuff too.
Yeah, but
that's only a day or two.
I usually end up getting paid for a week's of vacation I just didn't use.
Yeah.
Personal time vacation, sick time, whatever, all that dumb shit. But I'm thinking either taking couple 4-day weekends.
Yeah.
And maybe doing getting a hotel, or what I really like is, because last year I went to Hocking Hills in Ohio and got a cabin.
Oh, yeah.
The cabin had Wi-Fi. And we went there for the weekend. It was a couple $100 or something. Probably not even that much. It wasn't very expensive. I would totally pay $100, $200, get a fucking cabin for 4 days and just write.
Yo, yeah.
That would be phenomenal because there's no distractions out there.
Yeah.
Because even a hotel, you got a pool, you got some room service and shit. I just fucking bring some snacks with me, go to the fucking cabin, and just sit there and write for the weekend. That would be amazing. And
well, would you think the missus will let you go for 4 days by yourself?
Does she have a choice? I don't think she would like it, but she would. But I'll do it. It doesn't have to be that far. I could do whatever cabins around Ohio Pile, or it's an hour away. There's some things closer by than fucking Ohio, but
yeah.
Regardless, I just, if I got a hotel room, that might be suspicious. I'm just writing, I get in trouble. But needless to say, I am, just with the two things I have in, because I don't submit too often anymore, and I probably should, to magazines and things like that. But, what I have submitted now, just in progress and, ready to get reviewed, that kind of got me motivated to work a little harder. And I feel like once I get over that little hump, just getting published in something for the first time.
Oh yeah, it gives you some momentum.
Yeah,
it will make you feel this was actually worth something.
See, the thing is, a lot of the stuff I write, I end up just putting on DPW. I don't submit anywhere. It's very anything I've submitted to magazines was old stuff I've written, and I definitely wasn't that good of a writer compared to what I am now back when I wrote those. Yeah. So I feel like my current work is perfect because I've read some things, way too many things in literary magazines that are just shit. And I know I write better than that. So I can definitely get published somewhere. It's just a matter of writing it and publishing it. And then my main thing is I want to keep putting stuff on the site So usually I just put that on the, like whatever I'm writing, I just put it on the site and don't even think about submitting it somewhere. But I think maybe in what we should start doing from now on, we could publish it on the site, but then when we submit it, I'll also submit it somewhere and just make it private.
Yeah.
And if it gets rejected, just unprivate it. Just make it viewable for everybody. And then if it does, do well, just leave it private.
Yeah.
That's fine because we are in control. We can do whatever we want.
It's all stories.
Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I still have a couple short stories, 3 of them just in the back burner, and I've kind of thinking I'm just going to abandon them to get this collection out.
Yeah, that seems maybe like the...
I don't want to ignore the website, like as far as submitting work, and maybe I should do like a spring or a summer submission period so I can get some work in so I don't have to actually focus on writing stuff for the site. I feel like if I'm going to grow as a writer and get my name out there, I kind of have to start doing some work on my own that's not related to the site, even if that means our views get smaller.
And then what's also too is about what's good with that collection is too with it being a series of short stories. You can always do like a short story,
take a break,
and then do like a flash fiction for the website. Go back to do a story,
Yeah, things like that. I mean, as far as articles and stuff, I haven't written any in months just because I've been focused on other work. And I've written 2 really long stories now that I'm going to publish on the website. So I'm thinking maybe I should make those a serial story. That'll fucking kill a couple months for each story. And then I know you got some work in the queue. Yeah. You got you got that butcher story and some other things you're working on.
And say I just turned in that demon story we were talking about.
Which published Saturday, because this is going to be up on Friday, but that is actually today of the recording.
That flash fiction, which I definitely, me and Kev were talking earlier, it definitely has legs to be at least a short story.
I think you should work on making that a very funny short story.
Yeah.
Like, I think, honestly... I think that has real legs. Like, I think that would be very popular.
Maybe I can do that, and after
that might even be good for the short story.
That's what I was gonna say because I did that. I finished that yesterday, and then this morning before coming over to record, I did a couple more hundred words onto the butcher story, which I'm very close.
You've been so close forever.
So close. Like I'm in the last conversation that happens, like that right before the kind of, I don't want to say twist, but like the thing that makes you want to get into like the next story. I'm so very close. So I'm hoping once we get done with this and I get home, I'll get something to eat. Finally finish that first draft and like not necessarily work on the second draft, but go through and
just fix some things.
Yeah, like all the swig, get the swiggy, the red swiggy lines taken care of. So whenever I go to do a redraft, I'm not trying to be like, wait, what was I trying to do here? Like, just kind of fix some of that kind of stuff. So the next process is easier. Which like I was like, oh yeah, I'm finally starting to get some stuff done and stuff like here. Then I just listened for like the last half an hour of everything that you got done. And I'm just like, oh shit, well I didn't do anything.
I think you should definitely finish that story. Maybe outline the second part. And I would say take a break. Work on your demon story.
Yeah.
And then with fresh eyes, go back to the first draft of the butcher story and really, fix it up. Because my first drafts always suck.
Oh, yeah.
And I find, like, the paint story and different things, I find when I...
Take some time
off and then go back, when I go back with fresh eyes, it's like I'm reading something somebody else wrote. So I can... have new ideas for it.
And it's easier for you to have a more critical eye towards what needs to be fixed.
I can really apply myself to making the story better if I take like a month because a problem a lot of writers have, they don't want to take the time off, which I understand because, especially if you're jazzed about a story, you write the first draft, you want to go right into the second draft, but you shouldn't.
Yeah, because you might be, oh, this is great.
You're too close to
awesome
it.
To this.
Yeah, but you're too close to it. You're reading it because when the story is in your head, you're going to overlook any kind of things that might...
Like we were talking to anybody who listened to the previous episode of our book review. It was very good. We really liked it, but we both agreed that it could have used probably another pass through by him or an editor.
Yeah. You miss things.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he wrote it and then, did another pass real quick and didn't notice some of the, the mistakes we were talking, some of the typos and different things like that.
Take 1 to 3 months off, I would recommend. And when you go back, the story at that point is like you're reading somebody else's story. So you have more of an editor's mind or a reader's mind when you're going into it. So if you're reading it, you'll spot those things instantly. But when you're fresh, just writing something and you go into the second draft, your mind's still where it was when you were writing it originally. So you're going to skip over those little fuck-ups.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. So always take a break. It sucks. It sucks, especially when you're jazzed about something, but it's something that has to be done. Unless you have a professional editor on hand, which can cost thousands.
I
like to think I do a very good job of editing, but I miss stuff in my own work. Especially like flash fiction and short stories I do for the site, because I do a first draft and then I just do an editing pass.
It always...
And I fucking miss things sometimes, and I'll go back. Mindy will read one and be like, "Hey, this is shitty." I'm like, "Why?" I'm like, "Look what you missed." And I'm like, "It's not that shitty, but yeah, I get what you're saying."
And that's like, if we did to call out another or shout out another writing podcast, the Dead Poet Society or Dead Robot Society. Anytime when they get into editor talk and they talk about like how much it's always just a kick in the dick, just like, oh man. But it's like, it's one of those things that you really need to consider sometimes.
Here's the thing. I find when I write, my story isn't a story until the third pass. I'll do the first write-up, just the first draft.
Yeah.
And like I've said, especially when different software I use now, I don't edit as I go, at least as much as I used to. So I try not to edit as I go, and I write the first draft, I'll take a little break, and then I'll go back to the second draft, and I'll do some rewrites and stuff. But the third draft, would be the final draft for me, is when I fucking really get into changing things.
Now, I've been having a question I've been wanting to ask you about whenever it comes into rewrites. What's your process for rewrites? Do you either just whenever you're you say you got the first draft done and you go into the second draft, do you just make changes to that first draft, or do you copy and paste that draft onto a new document and then change it so you have both the first draft and the second draft there available to look through?
Well, for me...
And I mean, this can, depending on what you're writing, if it's a short story, hence to a longer novel, could change.
I'll give you a breakdown of every style I write. If I do flash fiction, since the WordPress updated, we have the Gutenberg editor now. It doesn't have the spell check, grammar check thing. So I just use Google Docs, even for flash fiction. Usually, and I got you Grammarly.
Yes.
With that, one pass is usually good enough for a flash fiction because, 500 words, and 500 to 1,000, and you might do a little rewrites here and there, but, you get the gist of the story. But for, say, a short story, I can use, 1,000 to 5,000 words. I'll do Google Docs and Grammarly, and what I'll do is I'll do a first pass, which is me just writing the story out caveman style, even if it's just Rebecca went to the mall. Yeah. Rebecca ordered a coffee. Then she went home and got cheated on by her boyfriend. And then I'll actually make that fucking nice later.
Make it readable.
Second pass, I will do the edits for the shitty grammar and spelling, and then I'll also make it nice. Third pass, I'll go edit shitty grammar and heavier rewrites to make it good. And sometimes a fourth pass. But if I'm doing a longer collection, I'll use Scrivener. I'll write in Scrivener. I will, which has your spelling, grammar type of checks already. I'll do kind of the process I just mentioned. But then I will copy paste, usually individual chapters, put it into Grammarly and to go over that. And I'll do some rewrites. And then I'll put it into the Hemingway editor I have to make sure it's not too complicated and that kind of spots things that are really shitty in your writing. Like maybe you have a sentence that just keeps going and going, and maybe the paragraphs are too hard to read. Just different things like that. And then I'll go back to Scrivener and fill it out. But what it mainly comes down to is 3 or 4 passes usually is pretty good for a longer work. As far as like flash fiction or something, 1 or 2 will do you. The main thing is you're just getting the story conveyed the way you want it to. And as far as rewrites, like for me, rewrites are kind of the actual writing for me. Because the first pass is just getting the story on the paper. Yeah. You're just throwing up the fucking story. You're just, and then there's the story. The second pass is actually forming that glob of throw up into something people want to look at. And then the third passage is cleaning it up.
Yeah, polishing of the turd.
Yeah, and then if you do a fourth passage, that's like really detailed shit. But normally you don't even need that. I hope I answered your question appropriately.
Yeah.
Well, what's your current techniques for... you normally just write flash fiction or short stories. So.
Yeah, I just... I'll write the whole thing and just do just another run through, and then I normally don't have to do anything more than like a second or third pass.
See, I recommend when you go into a story, like I said, the first passage, when you go to the second one, maybe you do your grammar and edit and stuff, but really focused on making your, like what you're trying to say better. Yeah. Just like really expanding things, going into, say you're having a paragraph just describing a guy drinking a beer. Simple enough, but maybe on your second passage, you actually want to elaborate on the beer, the taste of the beer, the look of the smell of the beer, the
sweat dripping off of the can or the bottle or whatever.
And then the third passage is getting rid of some of that way too much overwriting. It's a fucking process. You know, however you write, everybody writes different. But for me, like, I find when I go through a second passage and I do the rewrites, I will overwrite. And then by the third passage, I'll go back and delete some of that. And that finds me a happy balance. First one's caveman talk. Second one is way too much flowery overwriting. And then the third one's kind of
trimming.
Yeah. And then if you do a fourth passage, that's really getting. But you can do too many passes. Yes. Yeah. Too many passes will fuck you up.
Just as much harm than good.
So, we're both writing. That's a good thing.
Yes, finally.
Yeah. I do need to write more. I wanted to write today, and I have not. And now that I am drinking, I'm not going to. I was going to write last night, but I watched Into the Spider-Verse.
You right? So
I was going to do the Spider-Man theme, but it eludes me right now.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can.
That movie was so good.
It's the greatest. The best Spider-Man movie ever.
It is. It has fucking Spider-Ham, or wasn't it?
Spider-Ham.
Yeah.
Peter Porker, the spectacular Spider-Ham.
And it wasn't stupid.
No, it wasn't stupid. Do you know who did the voice for that?
Who?
The comedian John Hamm or John
John Hamm's the actor from
yeah, shit, he's done a whole bunch of stuff, but as soon as you see him and
fuck.
And as soon as you see him and you hear him, that's like, oh, that's exactly him, yeah.
I'm going to look it up now. Oh, baby. But that movie was so good.
The great, I've seen it, I watched it 2 times in theaters.
2 times?
2 times. I went to see it by myself, and then I took one of my friend's kids to go see it. He loved it. And then last week, I bought it on DVD. And then I went to another friend's house.
John Mulaney.
Who's
hilarious.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Well, then do you know... Okay, so he's Spider-Ham. Nicolas Cage is Spider-Man Noir.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Not Nicolas Cage.
Yes, he is.
I got the list in front of me. It is... Spider-Man Noir is Shymeek Moore.
No.
A very African-American man.
No.
What are you talking about?
No, that's...
Nicolas Cage... Wait a minute. Look at this. If you Google Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and go to the cast, it says Shymeek Moore is Spider-Man Noir, but it also says Nicolas Cage is Spider-Man Noir. What is happening, sir?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They messed up somehow. I think that guy I think that's Miles, maybe.
Yeah. Shouldn't he be? Yeah, he's the first guy on here, so he should be Miles Morales.
So I think they just messed up.
Do not read the cast list. It is fucking garbage.
And then so you got that guy, and then you got the dude from with the guy who played Ben B. Parker from I want to say Two Broke Girls, but it's not Two Broke Girls. It's
You have Chris Pine as Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's the one who dies in the beginning.
You have Olivia Catherine. Zoe Kravitz is in here. She's Mary Jane.
Yeah.
You have dude, Yorma. No, that's not the right Yorma. Is that the guy from The Lonely Island? Wait a minute. No, that can't be it. It is! Yorma Tacone from The Lonely Island. He plays, oh, fuck this list. He plays the Green Goblin.
Oh, really? I didn't even think he had a voice.
Yeah, remember from the, I'm on a boat and all that shit? Yeah. Yorma. Wait, who are you saying?
The guy who plays Ben B. Parker. Shit, he was in,
Dude, Liev Schreiber is Kingpin.
Yeah. You didn't know that? Yeah.
I didn't look at the cast list.
Kill that guy. That's a great line.
Kill that guy. I love that. Yeah. Kill that guy. Jake Johnson is Spider-Man.
Yeah, but he was in, I can't think of the show that he was in. With
yeah, Mahershala is Ali as Prowler. That's fucking... He was in that movie that won the Oscar over La La Land, but they picked La La Land.
I didn't even... Yeah, I've seen him in a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he's a really good actor. I'm not getting the Peter B. Parker. I got Chris Pine and... Ooh, Kimiko Glenn is Penny Parker. She was in Orange is the New Black.
Oh, really? Yeah.
She's fine as wine. She's a dime. I would give her... No. I would not give her anything. I apologize. It doesn't say Peter B. Parker. I'm sorry.
It's good. You guys, and he was in Let's Be Cops with the one way with the...
Oh, that's, wait a minute. Jake Johnson?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Jake Johnson.
But like I said, I can't remember the show that he was on for years and years.
That movie was fucking great. And the way they did everybody's origin story.
Oh, one more time.
One more time.
And like, I love that his, like, the Peter B. Parker, he's like in his 40s. He's overweight.
Wore sweatpants.
Aunt May died. He's divorced. He divorced Mary Jane. He's just crying in his hotel room.
The only thing I didn't like about the movie was how badass Aunt May was. When they went there, I was like, that doesn't seem fitting. To me, anyway. But everything else about that movie, I fucking loved how awkward Miles Morales was at first.
Oh yeah, and then when the whole pigeon gig, whenever he's running from the guy and he walks out the window and he gets hit
Pigeons
by the
are stuck to him,
and it's just so good to anybody who's a big Spider-Man fan. There's so many nods and Easter eggs.
The fact that they had black and white Spider-Man Noir was great.
Where's the wind coming from? We're inside. Yeah. Where I go, the wind goes.
He's like the Rubik's Cube with the colors. Was the most amazing thing to him.
Or he's like, sometimes I burn a match, I light a match and let it burn so I can feel something, and it goes out before it reaches his fingertips, and he gets all sad. And then it's like the Penny Parker, she was like a 2D animation. Like she looked like an anime character instead of the computer animation.
Now, I'm not super familiar with the Spider-Verse in regards to that, so is Penny Parker a real person? Is that in the comics?
Well, so a couple years back, they did an Into the Spider-Verse event series, which doesn't they just kind of share the same name. They don't the story itself is very different, but they share the same name. And she was a Spider-Man from a different with that basically that origin that they told in the movie. But yeah, just in the comics, kind of that story is different compared to the movie. But yeah. And they actually recently did a sequel to that called Spider-Geddon, because Armageddon, Spider-Geddon, but again it's very different to the movie storyline. But yes, all those Spider-Man are actual different Spider-Man in the universe.
You know what I've watched last weekend?
What's that?
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Again?
Jack Nicholson. That's the first time I ever watched it.
Whoa, really?
It was excellent.
Yeah,
I've never seen it before.
It's good. Yeah, it's real good.
I've also watched I watched Chinatown on Saturday.
First time for that too?
Yeah. That was okay.
I say that's okay. There's a sequel to that.
You were a big Jack Nicholson early 70s movies fan.
I did. There was a time where I did, like, whenever there was still, like, a Hollywood theater, like, I went through a lot of Jack Nicholson, like, movies.
Impressive. I was gonna watch Gone with the Wind, but I just...
I've never.
That's the only old movie I had on my list that I haven't got to yet.
I've never got to that. Well, there's a newer movie that you've watched recently.
Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
Oh, let me tell you about the Pet Sematary, where the pets get buried when they get hit by cars. And
I saw like a video describing like the new movie and the differences like on Facebook, and the guy was just talking about like, yeah, if you just want to be super fucking utterly depressed and feel like shit by like the end of the movie, like this will get you there.
Well, let me tell you one thing. If you watch the first one, you're going to feel the same. And if you read the book, you're probably going to feel the same. It's not a happy ending any way you go. The new Pet Sematary, I felt was good till the final act. And then it shit the bed. Like, literally, by the last 20 minutes of the movie, me and Mindy, who went with me, just didn't care anymore what happened. And that was depressing, and I didn't care for the ending. I thought the ending was hot garbage. Not that it was too different from the original ending, but it was still different enough that it was like, yeah, this sucks.
Like, I heard Tim was telling me that he saw a thing where like Stephen King wrote a new ending for the book, and they're like, that's not bleak enough.
Not bleak enough.
Yeah, not bleak enough. No, I don't know how like you like.
It's not that the depressing ending has any I'm fine with depressing endings. It's that one, the movie took place, everything was dark all the time. Like, if you watch the original movie, the whole climax was in the daytime. When they go to the Pet Cemetery the first time to bury the cat, it's like daytime, and then it gets dark when they're there. This one, everything's dark, everything's foggy. It's like that fucking shitty horror movie trope they use on everything now. I didn't like that.
Just to hide everything.
They cut out some of the scenes, and like, I don't like to compare movies, but they cut out some of the scenes that explain certain things. Like in the first one, they talked about the Civil War or World War II or whatever it was. Some dad, his son died in the war, and he buried him in the Pet Cemetery. Well, the Indian burial ground, brought him back, and he wasn't the same. And the townspeople came, burned the house down, killed him, whatever. It didn't do anything like that. It kind of glossed over a lot of stuff. The character of John Lithgow's good, but they should have used the guy from Pet Sematary too.
Oh yeah,
the guy that was in Shawshank Redemption.
Oh yeah,
he has the real deep voice because he's an old man now. He's perfect.
Yeah,
the deep voice.
That, yeah.
He's creepy. He would have been a perfect fit. Regardless, like the John Lithgow character, I just didn't feel like was super engaging. They kind of went into like more of a cult feel with like the kids with the mask and stuff.
I don't remember that before in like the book.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but it's fine. It's just they don't actually elaborate on that, so it's fine. I just felt that the movie was lacking that fucking punch to the gut you feel. But a lot of that was because of the plot twist of, which everybody knows, if you've seen the trailer, the little girl gets hit, not Gage. Which is fine, but when you watch the movie, it's very clear that they made the movie so you think Gage is going to get run over and it's going to kill you like the original in the book. And then it's the girl that gets killed. Well, the trailer gave that away. It fucked it up. If you didn't watch the trailer, you might like this movie more.
Yeah, it would have been nice to be surprised by that going in.
Yeah, that was very shitty. I don't know why whatever marketing team was behind this movie shit the bed, because that was a poor decision. Do not give that away. The character of Zelda, her death is different, which is fine. She's kind of scary, but it's not like the first one at all. It's just it doesn't do it for you. Overall, I give it a 5.7 out of 10. I don't know. Maybe a 6. I didn't think it was very good. I liked the first couple acts of it were alright. It was a good build-up, but it kind of got boring. It got stale. It just didn't live up to what I thought Pet Sematary could be. It wasn't like how they did It, where it was original, but it's still entertaining.
Yeah.
I felt like they should have added something or taken something away. I'm not sure, but it just... You haven't seen it, right?
No.
You're not missing much. Watch it on DVD, folks. Watch it on demand.
No, I also went and I saw a new movie recently. I saw Shazam.
Ooh, yeah. How was that? Because I want to see that, but I didn't want to see it in theater.
It's fun.
It looks fun.
It's super fun.
That's what a comic book movie should be.
Yeah,
fun.
It's really fun. Zach Levi does a good job of being like a kid, like / teenagers who gets these powers and like how that person would act. There's a lot of little kind of nods to different Shazam kind of characters and villains. There's a cool like the after credit scene is a nice little preview of what the sequel is gonna be, and anybody who's a fan of like that kind of stuff or just in comic in general, because the end's just so very super comic.
What's better, Captain Marvel or Shazam? A lot of people didn't like Brie Larson's acting in Captain Marvel.
No, I think she did a good job. I think that you have to be careful with that because you can kind of only get pigeonholed, because with it being a prequel, you kind of have things set like, so I feel like maybe that maybe have restricted it a little bit more. And I think the sequel to that will be better because it can be a little bit more open. She's already had her powers. She's had time to...
You don't have to explain everything.
Yeah, so she can kind of just go from the gate. And you'll get see more of her in Endgame too, so you can be even more familiar with the character. I don't want to sound like one of those DC dudes, but like I would probably go. I probably had a funner time at Shazam. Like you're meant to have more laughs and things like that for that movie and things like that. But I just really enjoyed the different things that they did. I still say that Zach Levi is wearing a muscle suit.
He is wearing a muscle suit. That's 100%.
They kept on saying for like why they kept on trying to deny that he wasn't.
He's not that buff,
and he's got buff. Like I've seen, like but
he's not that buff.
No, he's not that buff. The guy who plays Superman's not that buff. Like, especially considering when you look at it, like they're big, just like solid things of muscle.
Yeah,
like there's no definition to like any of it and stuff. But I mean, like it still looks good the way that they do it and stuff. But yeah, I really enjoyed that movie. I would recommend especially if you have kids. It's good for the kids to go see it. I'm sure they relate with the little kids.
Can I spit a hot topic in your face real quick?
Okay.
I saw the full trailer of Hellboy when I went to see Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
Looks like fucking garbage.
Looks
terrible, dude.
That's what I keep on hearing.
The CGI is awful.
I was really tempted on trying to watch it either yesterday or today since I was off. But I
was on the border before, but now I'm definitely not watching it. That trailer looked like shit.
I don't know what they're doing. Like,
do not give them your money. Don't do it.
I might give them theater. I will give them the money because I want another future Hellboy movie down the line that could possibly be better. If I don't give them my money, then there might never be another Hellboy.
That's what they want. Don't do it. Do not give them your money. Don't.
I mean,
get the DVD, fucking, on demand, whatever. Watch it a different way. Do not watch it in the movie.
I mean, I watched both of the new Ninja Turtles movies.
Because you're stupid. I did not watch those because they look shitty. The Ninja Turtles look awful.
I'm such a Turtle guy. I'm such a Ninja Turtle guy. I can't. I have to watch them. Bad. They were terrible. They were so big and chunky, and there's no way they fit through a manhole cover.
No, fuck no. How did they get... It doesn't make sense. I hate it. The first ones were so good. The original movie Turtles were so good looking. And then they went this route with
I heard that they're supposed to be doing a reboot of the classic series. So I don't know if that means that they're going to go more to the makeup route and just like add CG where they need it for like fight scenes and different things like that.
There's no reason they can't have just a cool suit.
Yeah.
And then do a little CG to fucking, emphasize the graphics, but you don't have to. They shouldn't just be computer.
Especially with the way that makeup is now. Yeah. Makeup is so good now.
They should not be computerized completely. That's stupid.
Because they was able to do that awesome stuff back there with just literally rubber suits.
Yeah.
You have makeup now that you actually be able to make because like I don't know if people know that, but like all their facial expressions and stuff in those old movies, they're done by remote.
Yeah, they're like fucking old Jim Henson type shit.
Yeah, so like now you could literally mode it in a way to where the actor can emote his own feelings while they're doing the stuff. Like that's what I hope they do in the next run of Ninja Turtle movies.
They probably won't.
They won't.
Michael Bay's directed.
No, he's not involved from what I've heard.
I fucking hope not.
He's not involved in the... They kicked him out of the Transformer stuff.
Good. Let me ask you this. What did you think of Sin City 2?
I never got around to watching Sin City 2.
Don't watch it, because it sucks.
I never got around to watching Sin City 2.
They fucked it up. You know why they fucked it up? Because it looked shitty. I don't know. It just wasn't that good.
Well, it took so long, too, that the expectation got, like... It just got put out, like, a year or two after the first one, but it was, like, almost a decade.
Yeah. Completely off topic. Why did I have to buy a Sin City book at college? I did not order that. There's no way I ordered a Sin City book. How did that get under my name?
I was so...
How long was that under my name for?
I was so surprised. Like, yeah, why would it take so long?
It didn't make any sense. How long was that under my name? Because when I read the Sin City books that I borrowed off of you, it was like, what, 5 years ago?
Yeah, you were still working at Walmart.
So there was 100% no reason why I would order one, right?
That's what I was thinking.
So what the fuck happened here?
As if you wanted your own set.
I do not. What happened here? Why did I have to buy that book? It was like $20.
What are you going to do with that?
I'm fucking burn it? I don't know.
And it's like the second volume, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I had the first volume, luckily, but...
Oh, well, maybe you had the first volume, you ordered the second volume, and then
I did not order the second volume. I 100% did not order the second volume. I don't know how Colin got that information, but I did not order it. I don't want it.
Just wait a couple months and trade it back in for like $5.
Why would I order that book 5 years after I started reading the fucking series and finished it? It doesn't make any sense. Because no other time did he ever say, hey, you ordered this book, it's been sitting here. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, hey, Caleb, you got this book. I'm like, what? The only thing I can think of is I was looking around on his website like a month ago, just randomly, and maybe I clicked on something, but I don't have a fucking any kind of Comics Now profile or anything like that. So how the fuck would I order something?
Oh no, it's a mystery.
If I didn't eat all his free pizza, I would fucking definitely bitched about it. But I just fucking gave him the $20. But I'm not gonna read it because I already read it. It didn't make sense. I racked my brain. I could not figure out why I have that book now.
Well, you have to order the other ones now.
I'm not gonna.
You gotta.
I don't want them.
What do you do when you get the next one? There's volume 3 in there.
I'm gonna fucking never come back to Christopher Comics again. It didn't make any sense. How did that book get under my name?
Has this kept you up at night?
Yeah, it has, because I don't understand how I ordered it when I didn't. Because I don't have a profile on anything. I'm not signed into anything on the internet, so I could, like, click something accidentally. There's no way I would have ordered that. If I would have ordered it, it would have been through My Comics Now, and I would have ordered the whole series at once.
A long time ago.
5 years ago. Colin, you're fucking me over. If I was to order something, it would have been anything else. Not fucking Sin City that I read 5 years ago. Maybe more.
For free.
For free.
That's funny, though.
Yeah.
From an outside perspective.
It doesn't make sense. I was more surprised. When I went up there, like he said...
What did you think it was going to be?
Well, you guys said, oh, you got a book up there. I was like, I got a book up there? So I went up there. I think I might have been drunk already somehow. And I went up there and I was like... What?
Yeah, you were, because I gave you a ride and you were drinking before I even got here.
So I was like, oh, it must be the fucking next book club book or something. They're fucking with me. And I was like, this book? And I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. And he's like, no, Sin City. I was like, what? Sin City? And then I bought the fucking next book club book and I don't fucking care. I don't know. Weird. I don't like it. I don't like ordering shit that I didn't order. Oh, I could have got Amazon for 10.
Right? At least. Cheaper if you got it used.
Yeah, I would have definitely got it on My Comic Shopper for like $8. Why would I order from you, Colin, for $20? I did not order that. I got a $40 bill that I had to fucking pull out because I got that in the book club book. And I wasn't planning on making any purchases that night. I was quite upset.
Just plan on getting drunk and eating some pizza.
That's all I want to do. Get drunk and eat free pizza. No, nothing's free. He probably just he likes Sin City. Click. Oh,
nothing in this world is for free, man.
Yeah. Oh shit, we did another hour.
Oh yeah?
Time just flies when you're having fun.
Is there anything else you can think of talking about real quick or we need to throw out there?
Do you want to have a rap battle? I fucked your mom and she was great, but then I found out her name was Tom. And no, I don't think I have anything to talk about. Talk about writing. I read stuff. I'm going to read... Are you going to read Hair of the Dog Part 2 here soon, or are you just gonna not?
I want to. I don't know how soon, because I was almost done with that Stephen King short story collection that I stopped to get Hair of the Dog done. So I'm definitely going to finish that first before I go on to any other novels.
I'm reading the Hemingway collection. I only have about 50 pages left, so I'll read that. I was going to read Anna Karenina, which is 1,000 or more pages. But then I'm thinking now there's a Yukio Mishima book, which is Spring Snow, which is 300-400 pages. I don't know, but it's not that long. But it is the first part of I forget the name of it, but for 4 books. A trilogy, a quadrilogy, I don't know. But it's 4 books. So I might just actually read that whole.
Does he already have him out already, or
he's dead? So yeah.
Oh, okay.
He died and he killed himself. Let me give you a little breakdown of Yukio Mishima.
I'm gonna say this isn't the guy that the one Japanese writer that you
No, you're thinking of Haruki Murakami. No, Yukio Mishima was a writer in the early half of the 20th century in Japan. He came about, he wrote, I don't want to break down his bibliography, but I think I forget when he died, 1947 or 50, it was right after World War II. He wrote a bunch of books, was always close to winning a Nobel Prize, but never did. And he ended up having a political coup where he took over some kind of national defense building or something in Japan. This is pretty fucking badass. He's descendant from samurais. So a lot of people were saying he was the last samurai because he came from samurais. The takeover did not go as he planned, and he finished the 4th book in his 4-book series. He fucking had one of the guys that was involved with the takeover with him. He had them. He did the seppuku.
Oh, when he
cut his gut open, and then he had the dude cut off his fucking head. He went out like a real samurai, killed himself. He was only 40-something years old.
Well, why though? I thought that was for whenever you dishonored yourself or
political beliefs, and I guess the dishonor was that nobody else went with it.
Or if you got beat in battle or something,
he felt like he lost because the people were in the audience. It was a bunch of military people that were outside the building were jeering him. So they're like, boo, you fucking suck. And some people were, I guess, I don't know. But, I don't know. He fucking ended up killing himself. Got his head cut off. It was pretty badass. It was a fucking crazy way to go.
Definitely going out on your own terms, I'd say.
Yeah, but that's the, so Spring Snow is the first book in that.
So have you read any of his stuff before this?
Yeah, I read 5 other of the novels.
Oh, okay.
So once I read this, I'm pretty much don't have much else to read from him. So, I'm
not sure exactly what else. I like I said, I want to check it out, but I don't know how soon and if we're gonna do another book club on it. That would make me read it the soonest, but I don't think we should probably do. No offense to him, but do multiple.
Well, we're not gonna do another book club or a book of the month on him because that would be unfair. I was thinking of Paul E. Cooley's Into the Black series.
Into the Black, yeah.
Or the Black series, or whatever it's called.
Again, that's a longer one, isn't it?
Yeah, but we can read the first one and just do that and just...
and I think his stuff you can still get can we get hardcovers of his? Or
we get prints of his. Yeah, we can get print copies.
Because I'd definitely be down with that. I read through his story pretty quick, like on my phone. Like I read through it pretty quick.
Dude, ebooks are the future. I'm just saying, ebooks are nice because I read the classics on there, and I read a lot of Haruki Murakami books on there just because it's actually cheaper.
Yeah. To
get the ebook version, and you could look up words you don't know. And just because, like, a lot of the translations I read, like Japanese literature, you'll still have like Japanese words in there sometimes, just because that like there's no translation. So you can look it up and find out what it means, which is cool. Or like the name of towns and different things like that. Holy shit, we're at over an hour. So I guess we should end this. So, what was this episode? Drunk.
Yeah.
Drinking with explains the slurring.
Yep.
You folks are wonderful. We love you very much. We appreciate your reading of our work. So if you want to read future work and say, hey, I love your work, let me comment, like, share, and everything else, go to drunkenpenwriting.com. You can check us out at Drunk Pen Writing on Twitter, where we share cool things. I don't know, I guess. And you can check us out on Facebook if you're old. You can hit us up at Drunken Pen Writing on Facebook. If you're old and elderly and like to bitch about things that nobody cares about, please do. You can say, hey, I don't agree with this post, and then give us 7 paragraphs of things that you disagree with. And you can check us out on YouTube. You know the name, Drunken Pen Writing. And then there is Instagram, which we don't have yet. Should we get an Instagram?
What are we going to put on it? Screenshots of like our computer screens?
Dick pics?
Oh, well. Yeah, I mean.
We could if we put the effort in, but I feel like I put too much effort into everything else for the website. I don't want to do more. Also, you're in charge of going to Pittsburgh every month now and finding hookers for the weekly podcast.
Oh, okay.
So, that's your job.
Okay.
You folks have wonderful...
Wait. Male or female?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Does it really matter?
I was just wanting to make sure.
Whatever your preference.
Okay.
We don't discriminate. You folks have a wonderful evening, afternoon, morning, whatever it is in your neck of the woods. See you later.
Bye.